the brother Cornnel.
No, brother, man.
All right, man. Like I said, I appreciate you. I had just reset the stars, so I just want to say I'm glad to meet you. It's an honor and a pleasure to sit down, speak with you, and interview you.
You blessing me, brother. You blessing me.
God bless you. All right, so Dr. Cornnel West, you had once said that you had once called the U.S. a racist, patriarchal nation, where white supremacy continues to define the everyday life. White America, you wrote, has been historically weak-willed in ensuring racial justice and has continued to resist fully accepting the humanity of blacks. Do you feel like moving in where we're moving with this new generation coming up and the new AI, do you still feel the way that you feel as far as black people being basically second or third class citizens?
In many ways, it's getting worse, though, with Trump and company, man. We're escalating fascism on the move.
Okay.
And it does, it targets a number of different folk, but black folk are still at the center of it. See, white supremacy just being reshaped and retooled. So it's true. I mean, your generation, you all made a lot of breakthroughs in terms of trying to keep track of the humanity of each other. But in terms of the powers that be, mass incarceration still in place.
That's right.
Decrepit school systems, inadequate health care, and not enough accessible housing still in place. And even in the culture and film and so forth, man, it's not like you got a whole lot of black self-respect and self-regard. There's still a lot of attacks on black humanity. So the important thing is we just have to be ready. We got to prepare ourselves. We got to fortify ourselves. But the American empire and its white supremacy and predatory capitalist processes still in place, man. It's grinding us down. We got to keep fighting.
Absolutely. You said something, Doc, about the music, and as long as our condition is in blue and we sing the blues, we get to pull ourselves out of, the condition or the turmoil, the trial that we're in. That's the history of black people in America.
See, that's why Mississippi is ground zero for the black cultural revolution, man. When the blues was created right there in the Delta, that you got levels of artistic creativity and genius, levels of spiritual fortitude, and levels of courage to allow the song to push back on all of the hatred and terror and trauma. You see, so even though you might be singing the blues, an strange fruit, nobody loves me but my mama, and she might be jiving too. That's BB, he the king of the blues.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
Now, man, he got some competitors now, buddy.
Like Buddy Guy. Yes, sir.
And Chicago don't exist without Mississippi. You know that.
That's right.
Mississippi took Chicago to places that Chicago never conceived of, man.
All right.
Started with Curtis Mayfield, one of the great examples. But I think the song is always set the standard for black people because it is a foretaste of our freedom. We free in the music.
Absolutely.
We're not free when the song is over. We got to go back in American society.
Absolutely.
See,
speaking of those powers that be, that white supremacy, those are invisible forces. They have now taken control over, our music, in a sense that they control who goes on the radio, who blows up, and who doesn't. The problem is that our music does not reflect the times that we're living in. Do you think that we're in my generation, even though we're making all of these breakthroughs politically and maybe even individually to benefit the community, but do you think we should pose an issue to the music that we're producing right now?
There's no doubt, and pose a challenge to the music industry. I was blessed to write a song with a genius named Bootsy Collins called Freedom, Freedu.
Freedom.
So that as long as the folk who are leading the recording industry don't want freedom songs, they want to dumb it down.
That's
right. To allow you to be free if you dumb it down. Just won't talk about lust, manipulation, domination, self-degradation, self-violation. Okay, come on in.
Yeah, come on in.
Bring the legacy of Nina Simone and Gil Scott-Heron.
Yes, sir.
And Curtis Mayfield in there. They said, no, we don't push back on.
And that actually was a quote from Nina Simone. The music should reflect the times that we're living in.
That's the genius. That's the genius from Trion, North Carolina. But the thing is that we always have to understand that we're in a war. And there's different sides of the warfare. There's spiritual warfare. There's cultural warfare. Music is part of both the cultural and the spiritual warfare.
Yes, sir.
So to keep pushing, if you can convince all these magnificent, creative young brothers and sisters that they not tied to the legacy of Nina Simone and Curtis Mayfield, but rather they tied to what will be successful, especially on the chocolate, on the vanilla side of town. That's where they're making the money.
Yep.
That's where they're making the money.
That's
When
right.
Mr. Flash and Chuck D and them was speaking to the community, it was real. Hip hop discovered, oh, wait a minute, we got markets way out here. Let's start making songs for those folk over there. All of a sudden it becomes very, very thin and superficial. And that's a sad thing. But you know, Erykah Badu, J. Cole, I mean, we got some.
Yeah, Chance the Rapper.
Chance,
Lupe
so
Fiasco.
Brother Lupe, he's been in my class many times. They holding up the bloodstained banner in a beautiful way.
Absolutely.
They really are.
Absolutely. But then, you know, we got people like Dirk and Chief Keef and, you know, Sosa, but fresh out of Parkway Gardens, and that music have spread all the way to China and London, and called drill music.
No, it's true. I mean, the black creativity is so rich, it spills over in so many different ways, and the world has to take notice.
Yeah.
The world has to take notice, man.
Yeah. All right, so in your book, Race Matters, you speak about love.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the intersection between love, race, and politics? Where do they intersect?
Well, I always begin John Coltrane's Love Supreme, man.
Okay.
Because love is the most powerful force in the world. Black love is always revolutionary because it affirms black humanity, gives us a sense of straightening our backs up.
Yeah.
And anytime we straighten our backs up and tell the truth, we're a threat to the status quo.
True.
But love takes a lot of forms. It takes love between ourselves and our mamas, our daddies, our grandmamas, our granddaddies, our kids, our cousins, our brothers and sisters, siblings on the block, and so forth. So it's always a countervailing force against the coldness and cruelty of the world. But it's also a countervailing force, and this is what's most important, I think, against cowardliness.
Okay.
You see, you can't be a coward and be in love.
That's right.
Just like God can't use cowards.
That's right.
You see. Courage is the precondition. So love and courage go together.
That's right.
I talk about courage and love. It takes courage to love, man.
It takes courage to love.
Oh, man. I asked that sister to dance, and 2 years later, you falling in love in a situation you didn't plan on and wondering what is going on. You feel like you're a different person. That's what love does to us.
That's
I'm telling you. And black people, we've been the most hated people for 40 years.
But with the most love.
We talk the world so much about how to love, what love is, and produce love warriors. But the system, the status quo, they don't want to produce. They don't want us to produce a love warrior.
That's right.
And our tradition gets weak and feeble if all of a sudden it's just cowards.
Right.
It's just folk who scared all the time, intimidated all the time, and just concerned about the next cash flow rather than the heart flow.
That's right. You know, to be honest, I was a little bit intimidated to come and sit with talk to you, man.
No, you shouldn't, brother.
But I love you so much, I had to find some courage. I had to find the courage to get over here, man.
Courage to love. No,
Yes, sir.
I feel the love, too.
Sir.
I appreciate it.
I want to ask you, I read somewhere that you're supposed to be running for president.
Yeah, indeed. Now 6 months ago, been hitting it every day, 4 or 5 events every day.
Okay. And you're running independent.
Running independent, free, just like a jazz man. I ain't taking no dictates from no party, no rules from no party. Speaking my mind, but most importantly, that. The campaign is just a moment in a movement.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the movement I'm talking about is the greatest movement of the modern world, which is the Black Freedom Movement. Our black music is the best example of that. But the music is continuous. That sounds like Kim right there.
Yeah, that's Kim right there.
He part of our tradition, brother. He part of tradition I'm talking about. He's a bad little short brother. He be throwing
They got the voice of a lion, though.
Truth, and he touched my soul.
Yes, he does.
But see, that's my tradition. So all I'm doing is allowing that tradition to spill over into politics. Because the problem is that most of our politicians, they're too scared. They don't want to speak the truth. They're obsessed with the next election. They don't have the freedom of a Kim or a Teddy Pendergrass or Aretha or Anita Baker.
Or Dr. Cornnel West.
Well, I'm in Chicago. I can talk about the Hutchinson sisters.
You know,
Emotions.
I love them too.
You know what I'm talking about. They start walking the line, and next thing you know, your heart is levitating, man. But that's that tremendous. Not just it's beyond talent, it's beyond skill. It is a soul activity.
Just that's where Jennifer Hudson get it from. She was raised by the Nickel Sisters. That's another old gospel group from out of Chicago.
Jennifer from Chicago?
Yeah, she from Chicago. She graduated from Dunbar.
Really?
Yes, graduated from Paul Laurence Dunbar, Mr. T.
Wow. I didn't know. Because the first time I saw her was New York, Broadway.
Okay. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought maybe it was New York. She's from Chicago.
She's a Chicago girl.
Almost everybody.
Yes, sir.
God almighty.
Yes, sir. So, Doc, I'm going to ask you a little controversial.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump has been running amok in there.
You know what I'm saying? He's a bona fide gangster.
Yeah, that's the real gangster.
You ain't lying, man.
But he definitely did endorse Jesse Jackson both times he ran for presidency.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, sir. I try to do my research.
You educate me, bro.
But if he was not to run, and they, for whatever reason, they made him they blocked him from running altogether, would you have him as an endorser?
Well, see, he's a fascist, though, man, so it wouldn't mean that much. Right. It'd be like the Klan endorsing me. What does that really mean? Right. People are free to say what they want to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like if I'm singing with Sam and Dave and the Klan want to show up at the concert, go on and pay your ticket. Sit in the back.
Oh, Lord.
but I ain't making no rush over there to say hello. You know? So you can't really control folk in terms of who comes forward. But knowing what they stand for and knowing that I stand for so much of the opposite, it would just be bewildering. Definitely. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was very, very taken back when I read it myself. I had to go find some more sources too, just to be sure. But it definitely happened that way, and I was just thinking, wow, that was an odd endorsement. But I think it was beneficial to him too at the time. But different that's the conversation.
Oh yeah, no, that's rich. That's rich.
Yes, sir. But Dr. Cornnel West, running for president. This will be the last question I'm gonna ask you. Running for presidency, it seems like a lot of people got to lie, got to steal, got to cheat. How do you stay righteous and still have your hand in politics?
Well, I think one is, man, I'm a Christian, so I realize I got gangster in me.
Yes, sir.
I was blessed to have a 10-year-old student every week in Brooklyn, National Black United Front, named Tupac Shakur. And he always understood the thug in him because he was a truth teller.
That's right.
He was a revolutionary truth teller. All of us have some gangster. All of us have some thug. All of us have faults and foibles. But most importantly, some of us are willing to choose to be forces of good no matter what the danger is.
That's right. That's right.
Tupac was willing to pay the cost.
Yes, sir.
Of being the revolutionary artist that he was. You see what I mean? And
he had the spirit of that Nina Simone.
Oh, he had that same Nina Simone spirit. This is true.
Yes,
and of course, the Phineas, his mother.
Yes, sir.
course. She used to sit right there next to him. Remember the Black Panther
Yeah.
Party? Remember House of Love Pentecostal Church, Reverend Herbert Daughtry in Brooklyn, which was the center of the National Black United Front. That these are those who constitute a cloud of witnesses that are wind at our back. And we should never forget it. Because we got some hurricanes coming, brother. And we're going to have something to fall back on.
That's right.
And that wind at our back is pushing. It's a countervailing force against all the hatred, all the greed, all the fear, all the envy, all the resentment. And so in that sense, we recognize our humanity. All of us are cracked vessels. All of us are in some sense fall short of any high standards. But we know what the standards are. We know what they are. We think of Martin King, Malcolm. Think of Brother Jesse and Jackie. You think Harold Washington. You can go on and on.
Yes, sir.
All those who set high standards.
Fred Hampton.
Oh, Lord, you almost got to be silent and say his name.
I know, right?
Lord, have mercy.
21 years old, but man, got the resume.
Still
of a
trying to
60.
catch up.
I know, right?
Still trying to catch up. Well, I'm 70. I'm trying to catch up with the brother. He talking about Rainbow for Jesse.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he's the first one talking about the Rainbow Coalition. Jesse will tell you.
Right, you teaching me that.
Yeah, Jesse will tell you, man. Oh, Fred Hampton was a giant. That was one reason why they targeted him. See, repression is real, man. And
So
anybody
young and
who tells the
innovative.
truth about white supremacy in America's got to be ready to die. That's just a fact.
Yeah, well, man, we're going to huddle around you and keep you here, man. Cornnel
I
West.
live much longer than I deserve, but I'm going to be here as long as the Lord wants me to be here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But, brother, this has been magnificent.
It was an
man.
awesome conversation. I thank you for
God
taking the
Almighty.
time. For
Real,
real.
the best in Chicago.
I received that, man. I received that, Dr. Cornnel West. Thank you so much.
Man, this is wonderful, brother. Oh, this is wonderful, man. Good God Almighty. How you doing, man?